All right, I know it's been a while since I've recorded anything, but I have an excuse. I've been writing a book, and hopefully it's going to be really helpful for you. It's only available on lulu.com right now. Hopefully it'll be up on Amazon within the next month, but I just wanted to let you know about it, let you know what I'm working on. So this video is recording correct medication pronunciations in your own voice. And the How to Pronounce Drug Names, a visual approach to preventing medication errors, is really going to hopefully make it a lot easier for you to pronounce medications correctly and consistently, but also put in your mind how they're spelled, and then that should lead to better memorization. So here was the problem. I recorded this some 700 videos, whatever it is, and I've got sulfamethoxazole with trimethoprim. I go through it, I give you a sentence, I say it again, and then you have to repeat after me. But how do we know that you've pronounced it correctly? And you could record yourself and then compare them, but how do you really fix anything if it's wrong? Or how do you fix anything that just doesn't seem right? And what I thought we needed to do was maybe break it up into parts. And this took a couple of months to figure out exactly how to do this. But it's a couple of steps, and the first step is just to break the word into syllables. And let me be really specific about why I broke them up this way. Sulfa, that L and F, you can't really break it up another way. You could make it sulf, S-U-L-F, and then leave the A alone. But what happens is that sound would be and in English, that schwa sound can be made by an A, an E, an I, an O, or a U. And it doesn't help you remember how to spell it. So I broke it up as sul, fa, and then meth. It's problematic if you take the TH off of it. And you want to always keep that TH if you've got something like that on the interior. Okay? And then the ox, the X is actually a K and an S sound. So it's, if you were to spell it phonetically, it would be OKS. And it would sound more like sul, fa, meth, ox, sa, zol. But orthographically, or spelling it, you really just want to keep the O and X together. We're stuck because after an X, we have this A, we've got this schwa sound, but we don't want to have to remember that there are two A's in here, because if you have that kind of multiple choice, it makes it tough for you to remember, well, how do I spell that? And zol, I'll show you how that's a little bit problematic too, because zol doesn't exist in English. Azole certainly exists when you're talking about organic chemistry, but what I wanted to try to do was get away from organic chemistry. The students that I teach are coming in from high school, from other careers, and there's no requirement. They have a biological science requirement, but no chemistry requirement. So we want to stay with the humanities and kind of get away a little bit from organic. And then trimethoprim, I just did this on two different slides because there are so many syllables, and I want to show you what method I've used, which is translating these sounds or finding them really in the English words. So to break it up a little bit, to make it so that it's easier to know how to pronounce it, I took small English words, and where I could, I made it something that you could picture easily. Sul just isn't around in many different words, but the word sullen, which means you're sad, is very easy to picture somebody who's very sad. The fa, again, that's that schwa sound, so it's not A, it's and that comes at the end of sofa, and sofa is a physical object you can think of. Meth, again, it's really just not in a lot of words, so the word method has meth in it. Ox, just like something that you would think, an animal that's pulling a plow. The from comma, again, we have that schwa sound, but because we're saying sofa and comma, now you have a picture in your head of this sad person who could be on the sofa. I'm really kind of blanking for method, but maybe they're doing some like method acting, and they're pretending to be someone who is plowing a field. And then you see a comma, and here's the zol. So a fez is that little red hat that the monkey on the organ grinder has. And then I thought, well, those organ grinders are usually on a pole, so you don't have to hold it up or something like that. That's what the picture was in my head. And what I'm saying with these parentheses is to cut that part off. So it's sol, fa, meth, ox, zol, from sullen, sofa, method, ox, comma, and then the fez and pole I had to put together because there's no zol unless you're using azole from organic chemistry. And I did the same thing with trimethoprim. So triangle, method, O, prim, tri, meth, O, prim, trimethoprim. And what this does, it allows you to have this kind of cascade from the words to the syllables to then the entire word all at once. 1, 2, 3. What I did then was, you can record it, and I use SoundForge on my PC, and then I have this other program, Piezo, on Mac, and I can use that to record it. So I just record it slowly and you can do this one of two ways. You can either record it as, and this is how you would do it in a linguistics class, now I say sullen, or now I say sul from sullen, now I say fa from sofa, now I say meth from method, now I say ox from ox, and so on. And then you would cut away what's not the drug name. But in this case, you could just say sol, fa, meth, ox, zol, if you can pronounce these 6 words. Well, 7. And then same thing here. You know how to pronounce triangle, method, the letter O, and prim like prim and proper. So you just go slowly, tri, meth, O, prim, and then you'll have the sound as well. And what you end up with is this. So this is a picture of SoundForge, and this is my recording of sol, fa, meth, ox, zol, tri, meth, O, prim. And now I have this SoundForge recording, and what I can do is I can manipulate it so that it now matches up with the pronunciation recordings that I have online. Now you say, well, that's a lot of work to think up all the words. And yeah, I can tell you it is a lot of work because I did it for 400 drugs. And this is what the book looks like. And I have this picture on the front because the first 25 drugs I talk about are the over-the-counter medications for children, which I think is a very difficult group of drugs to navigate because as a parent, you're going to be exhausted, you're distracted, and you have to know that you need to turn every single box around to see what the active ingredient is. So what I've done is I took those 25 drugs, then I took another 27 drugs that my daughters have been on. It's when you've got triplets and they've been in the NICU, it's easy to come up with a bunch of medications that they've been on. And just like memorizing pharmacology, I did it in an order that you can memorize it easily. And then I went through the 350 drugs in the back of memorizing pharmacology and started pulling these sounds out. And then I went through 20 chemotherapy drugs for pediatric patients. And then I went through another, I want to say 35 or 40 of the newer drugs that we have out. And that way, not only do I have a comprehensive volume, but what I've done is I've created this system so that now if there's a new drug that comes out, there's and I call it the GET system, the generic to English translation system, because now you get how to pronounce things. And I've created this list of these syllable parts so that instead of having to create this book again and again and again, you have this key at the end and you can say, okay, well, new drug comes out, evolocumab or something like that, and you can see that all those sounds are in there or something like that. But this is what the inside looks like of that 350 part. There's more of a narrative in the beginning when I talk about the 25 pediatric over-the-counter medicines, and then 27 pediatric prescription pediatric medicines. Then I go through the 350, then into chemotherapy, and then into really the drugs that have been recently approved. But what I'm just asking for is a little bit of feedback, some thoughts, see if this actually works. I can pronounce everything, so I don't really have that obstacle, and I really need kind of feedback on is this system something that you think is going to work? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. And I apologize. I know it's only available on Lulu, but hopefully it'll be on Amazon soon. And then obviously I'm going to need a narrator to do the audiobook. And I'm not sure if I'm going to record it myself. I don't know yet. There's some emotional parts in there that I don't know if I could really get through. But anyway, it's 12:30 in the morning, so I should get going. But please do leave comments. Please leave feedback. Let me know what you guys think.